talk about a sneaky and downright nerve-wracking scam that's been making the rounds lately. This one hits hard because it's designed to terrify you into handing over your hard-earned money. It starts with a threatening call and escalates into what feels like a legal nightmare. But don't worry, I've got the details to help you spot this scam, protect yourself, and keep your wallet safe. So imagine this. Your phone rings and the person on the other end claims to be a process server. They drop a bombshell. You're being sued for an unpaid debt and they're on their way to serve you papers. But there's a catch. They can't give you any details about the debt over the phone. Instead, they give you a phone number to call for more information. When you call that number, you're connected with someone who seems eager to help you. They pile on the pressure, saying that you're almost out of time. If you don't pay immediately before that process server shows up, it's going to be too late to resolve the matter. At this point, panic often takes over, and that's exactly what they're counting on. Scared people make quick, uninformed decisions and often end up handing over money they don't actually owe to people who don't have the right to collect it. This scam is not just a hypothetical scenario. I've encountered it myself several times. Let me share a real example to show you how it unfolds. A little while back, I got a call from someone named Jim. He said he worked for a legal services company and he had court paperwork to serve me. According to him, I was being sued in my local county courthouse. Now, I've dealt with enough of these calls to smell a scam, but I played along to gather some more information. Jim slipped up when he named the wrong courthouse. At the time, I lived near the border of 2 counties and he picked the wrong one. Just out of curiosity, though, I followed his instructions and I called the number he provided. That's when I was introduced to Robert, who claimed I owed a debt from years ago. He said the lawsuit was for double the original amount. He insisted that I had to settle immediately before those papers were served, or there would be nothing he could do to help me. At this point, I started asking a lot of questions. I asked for Robert's name, his company's information, and more specifics about the debt. Unsurprisingly, he got flustered fast, and he put me on a quick hold. A quick internet search revealed that his so-called company didn't really exist, and when Robert came back on the line, he was ready to end the call. He knew I wasn't falling for it. Now here's the kicker. I wasn't served any papers. I was home all day, and nobody showed up. That's because no lawsuit had actually been filed. There was no real process server headed my way when he made that call. It was all made up. This was a blatant scam. So, what can you do to protect yourself from these process server scam calls? First, I need you to know I'm not a lawyer. I am a researcher and someone who unfortunately has a lot of experience with this particular issue. That being said, I always recommend that you reach out to a legal aid organization for personalized legal advice. You can find a list at lirlinks.com/legal aid. And with that disclaimer out of the way, let's break down the red flags so that you can protect yourself if this happens to you. Number 1, and this is a big one, do not panic. Debt collectors want you to act out of fear. Stay calm, take a deep breath, and think critically. Scammers rely on those knee-jerk reactions to pressure you into paying without verifying any of their claims. Second, remember that real process servers do not call first. They never give you a heads up. That's not how this works. If someone claims they're about to serve you and demands payment to prevent that, be suspicious. And third, they should know the basics. A real process server can provide some general details, like the type of document they're serving, the case number, and the parties involved. They usually can't explain the details, and they can never give you legal advice. But they won't be vague or evasive, and they definitely won't give you a number to call for more information. Fourth, you still have rights after being served. Let's say, worst case scenario, you do get served. Even then, it's not the end of the world. You still have options like negotiating, settling, or disputing the debt. Don't let the fear of legal paperwork force you into impulsive decisions. If you do get served, our sponsor Solo can help you sort it out. Just visit lirlinks.com/solo to get help. Now, here's another important fact to remember. Debt collectors are not allowed to threaten lawsuits they do not intend to file. So it seems to me that this particular scam is a direct violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. But again, I'm not a lawyer. So let's take a look at what the FTC website says. Quote, collectors can't lie. For example, collectors can't tell you that you owe a different amount than what you actually owe. They can't pretend to be an attorney or from the government, and they can't tell you that you'll be arrested or claim they'll take legal action against you if that's not true, end quote. So, if someone is using this tactic, they're breaking the law, plain and simple. If you find yourself on the receiving end of one of these calls, here's a step-by-step guide of what to do. First, don't provide any personal information. Scammers often fish for details so that they can sound more convincing. Don't give them anything they don't already have. Second, ask questions. Get their name, their company name, their contact information. Request written proof of the debt. Scammers often falter when you press them for details. And then do your research. Look up the company they claim to represent. If it doesn't exist or has no online presence, that's a massive red flag. Then report the call. File a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission or your state attorney general's office. These agencies track scams and may take action against repeat offenders. Ultimately, you need to know your rights. Under the FDCPA, debt collectors must provide written verification of a debt upon request. If they refuse or they make excuses, they're not legit. Scams like this prey on fear and uncertainty, but you don't have to fall for them. By staying calm, asking the right questions, and knowing your rights, you can protect yourself and your finances. And remember, being informed is your best defense. If you've ever dealt with a scam like this or have questions about the debt collection tactics, share your story in the comments below. Your experience could help someone else avoid falling victim. And for more tips on protecting your money and avoiding scams, check out our other videos. Don't forget to visit lowincomerelief.com for even more ways to save money and find financial help. I'll see you next time.